Hello, we're Nolune. My name is Nolyn Daniel.
And I'm Daniel Bermudez.
And we make ambient folk music.
Yes.
And we're gonna build some fucking Legos. Can I cuss? A frog. Maybe multiple.
I'm gonna build some kind of structure. I'm leaning towards a house, but you never know. You never know what's gonna happen, right?
Prison. I think you should build a prison.
I'm not gonna build a prison. I might build a garden.
You should make a prison for my frog. The lyric I'm thinking of is "A little compassion is too much to ask" of the old white men buying books with cash. I wrote it at the end of my 21st year. It's very long. It's a little sad, but there's also parts that are kind of funny. That is about me quitting my job at Barnes & Noble. And I worked there for one day, and it makes me sound like a quitter, and maybe I am. And yeah, I had this old man be really mean to me, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then I quit, and then it made it into the song.
It was funny hearing it for the first time because she just kind of said it, and like, are you talking about? I mean, like, of course you're talking about the thing. Like, you can't like.
Are you talking about Barnes & Noble?
Are you talking about like the Barnes? Because I remember you telling me the story and the fact that you were just like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, like after like a day.
Thank you.
I don't know. Like, I definitely would have just like taken it on the chin and kept working there. So I applaud you for that.
This is my first time quitting.
Anything?
Mm-hmm. Anything.
Anything? Like literally anything?
Literally anything.
Wow.
I know.
That's impressive. You went 22 years, 21 years?
It was 21.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Like the song.
That's right. So a little compassion is too much to ask.
Apparently so.
Of the old white man buying books. He was buying a book with cash, and he was like, why can't you count it faster? And I was like, you paid in all 20s, sir.
On my end, as far as the challenges go, when you're trying to put together something cohesive, there's always the challenge of, is this what I want it to be? Is this the cohesive thing that we're aiming for? And there are songs that didn't make it to the final thing that we never finished, and then there are songs like Wasteland, for example, that just kind of appeared out of thin air that we just added during, like, you wrote that in what, September or October?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like at the very beginning. And same with Stick Around, that one kind of just came about towards the end.
Yeah.
I would say that the biggest challenge for me personally, I usually have a pretty intense idea of what I want a song to be in my head. And it's really hard for me to detach from that. And yeah, that was really hard to not control it in that way. After I accepted it, it was a lot more fun and relaxing to make music again. I finished my frog. Isn't he good?
He looks so nice.
I think I might try to make another one.
Nice.
Should I freestyle a frog?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Freestyle a frog.
Fuck it, I'll freestyle a frog. I wear this blouse to show what I am offering. It's see-through. And has a collar around the neck. It's been said a million times, but just a part of being a lady nowadays, I feel like your appearance is always tied in to how you're perceived as a person, which is a bit unfortunate. That's pretty much it. It's just kind of a little bit of misogyny in the song.
That was the first song I had heard.
It was.
Yeah, that was the first song.
I was on your garage floor.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, whoa, that's...
It's so angsty.
Angsty, but angsty isn't a bad thing. Angsty is what delivers the mood, right?
That's right.
That's if you're trying to feel angsty, it's that's kind of the way to go about it.
Yeah.
This song wasn't originally supposed to, or the take that ended up making its way onto the EP, and it wasn't supposed to be there. You had just met up with Joey for the first time, right?
It's true. It's my first time over at Structurally Sound Studios. It's a great studio. If you're in LA, you should record there. But yeah, it was my first time meeting up with Joey and going to the studio by myself, and I was really nervous. And Joey's like, "Do you just want to do a demo for the EP?" And I was like, "Sure, let's just knock out 21." And then we took genuinely just one take, and then we were both like, "I think that we should use it." And then we used it.
Right.
But it's also cool because it's the only one that's recorded on tape.
I think it makes a lot of sense in the context of the whole thing, because
it's just an angsty song about being 21. That's it. It gets funnier to sing every single year of my life because it's I lie awake inside of my parents' house, and it's oh, it's so young. This one is my freeform frog.
I like it.
Thank you.
I think it's charming.
Thank you. I think it's more of a toad.
That's okay. You know, they can live in harmony.
Maybe.
Well, one's aquatic or semi-aquatic, and
yeah, you're right.
and the other one's land.
That's right.
Be that as it will. Oh, okay.
Toad Castle.
Toad Castle. I like that. What brought me to make music? I've been playing drums since I was like 9. I was really into like rock band, and I realized at a pretty young age that the only instrument that like translated to the real thing from the video game was the drums, so I liked it. But you know, I spent a lot of years away from music and on like computers and stuff like that. But coming back to it, what brought me there was I realized that nothing makes me feel the way that music does. I realized that like, oh, like you know, if I didn't, you know, devote myself as much as I can to this thing, then like, what am I doing, right? In a broad sense, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. It was interesting because it's something that I never saw myself doing, because I grew up as a dancer and I was trained as a competition dancer. And I was always so afraid of singing for the longest time. And I feel like after I was done with dance, and I did theater when I was in high school, of course, I don't know, it just kind of felt like the next like step in like articulation for myself and like finding my own voice. Because I learned a lot of things from like both of like theater and dance, like the different art forms. But I never felt one as personal as like when I picked up the guitar and then attempted to write a song for the first time. I like his hat.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it kind of goes beyond words, to be honest.
Totally.
Just self-expression.
Yeah.
The broadest. Oh, he's good. Oh, that's good, Dan. Nice. I like this.
I give them my whole body, but they never stick around. That's probably the lyric that resonated with me the most. It's such a relatable thing. I feel like the idea of wanting to give so much to the people around you, and you know, if that's not reciprocated, then you're kind of left here. You know, you give and give and give. If they're not around, they don't stick around. Like that kind of leaves you so like, I don't know. Broken feels like such like a strong like broken, but like
but
you know,
it's true.
like yeah, like you know, heartbroken, but in like a friend way of like, oh, like I thought I meant more to you than it seems like I do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you wrote it, so like, what was the?
Yeah, I mean,
what's your feeling?
I had this like kind of facade that I was presenting of being very happy-go-lucky, when in reality I was struggling at the time, and I was convinced like if I even like shed this facade for like a second, and if I let my guard down, then all of my current friends are gonna be like, ugh, this isn't fun, and then leave. I feel like it's even not even sadder than a breakup, but in a different way, it could be.
Yeah, like a friend breakup hurts in a totally different way than I feel like a relationship breakup, because it's like, you know, when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, that's my friend. You don't think about like the friend breakup that happens like later on, because it just, I don't know. I wouldn't say it hurts like more or less, but just in an entirely like different way.
Oh, it really hurts.
And yeah, I felt like Stick Around really kind of like hit that nail on the head of, I don't know, that kind of feeling.
I made a frog prison.
Oh wow, that is frog prison, ain't it?
He deserves it.
What did
He's
he
done
do?
horrible things.
Oh no.
I think the worst part of growing up is starting to hate your, fuck, I always do this! I hate speaking my lyrics. I think the worst part of growing up is starting to hate the ones you used to love. It's probably the most well-known lyric that we have, which is funny because it's also like the saddest. Yeah. It was something that I was pondering for a while, like I want to say like a month before I wrote the song, and it's actually not a direct reflection of my own family life, which a lot of people think it is, and it's not. I feel like we've all had feelings like that in moments. Luckily I can say that I don't feel like that, and I love my family. I don't hate them. And it's tough. It is tough, and I feel like growing up, you kind of become jaded in that way, where you're like, wow, my parents or my sister or my brother isn't like this god among men. They're actually a person with flaws. But the sooner you accept that, the better I feel like your outlook is. Well, I'm excited. We just started today recording our second project. I won't say what it is exactly, but
Yeah.
it's something, and we're recording it, and I'm very excited to
Yeah.
work with some people that are coming over today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for. New music, maybe,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Oh yeah,
Please.
and we're in a much more collaborative state than I feel like we were like a year ago, 2 years ago than we've ever been. Yeah, so it's like,
It's
but
really
no,
good
like
music.
a lot of music that we're really happy with, and you know we feel pushes Nolune to kind of like the next evolution. You know, it's gonna be Nolune and it's gonna feel like Nolune, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. You know, right? Does that
Well
make sense?
said. Well said, brother.
Yeah.
I made this little turtle guy. I couldn't find any pieces to lift up his eyes, so they're kind of like flat on his head. But it's a turtle prison, and he imprisoned the frog. I like the turtle more than I like the frog.
It's just a little, and I've done this ever since I was little. I just kind of build things with Legos where I think it would be nice to like hang out. Like I would love to just chill in here, you know? Like if I was like that big and I got to just, if there's like a couch right there, like that'd be so cool.
Wow. Do you want me to release the frog from prison? Okay, ready? It's gonna bust down the doors. Wow! Bum, bum, bum. There it is.
Wait, bring him into the castle. I know I said this wasn't a castle before, but
It's like he's leaving like the in-between, like purgatory, and now he's in heaven.
Oh, look at that.
Goodbye, perdition. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and fucking roll.